Compass points you anywhere.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the morning shake with me, your host, Xavier Hendricks, and of course, my new co-host, none other than Miss Cola Nicole Koopman. Wait, the sound effects on that.
Boom, 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 boom. Hello, guys. As you heard from Xavier, I'm the new co-host here on the morning shake. I'm so impressed with you guys for choosing such awesomeness. We're going to spice things up. We're going to shake things up. We're going to add some different dynamic to the show. And I'm looking so forward to being part of the team to get into today's topic too.
Let's do it.
Otherwise, wait, how are you?
Nah. Today, it's been a good day. It's been a weird weekend. But maybe... Yeah, man, I think we're moving forward. It's some decisions I need to make for myself, for my personal life. But every time, change is one of the most difficult things people can ever do. So whenever there's a change, especially a big change, people don't know how to deal with it and don't know how to manage it. So it's that change management that is an issue. It's not an issue, but it's kind of like it's daunting, and it's kind of like, okay, you gotta jump. Remember, we had that conversation offline. There's the moment where every person gets to this moment where you get to the end of one season of your life and you got to make that leap, and it's a leap of faith, and it's a leap of, okay, right, what's next for me? Where do we go after this? And that's where I am in this stage of the game. So I got to take a nice big leap, and it's a bit daunting. But it's got to be done. And so yeah, it's kind of, the emotions are all over the place, but it's got to be done.
I'm so ready to assist you with that. I'm all about change and making people realize certain things, like, what are you waiting for? Time is not waiting for anyone. It's not standing still. So I am here if you need a young bit of motivation, or if you just need a push. Sometimes you're at the edge and you actually need a push. It's like, it's a hot day, you are burning, but you buy the swimming pool, but it's like, oh, it's going to be so cold when I get in. But you're burning. And then somebody so nicely just walks by and pushes you in.
So guys, for those of you who are watching on TikTok, please do note that soon we might leave off the TikTok platform, and simply because we want you to go over to the YouTube channel, right? It's called The Inside Show. So go over there, and then also drop the comments in the comment section. This show is really about having a conversation with the audience. So if you're having a conversation with us in the comment section, we literally have our computers open in front of us, which means we're going to see the comment and we're going to be able to engage with it. If you agree, if you disagree, if you want to put up a little bit of your argument or your side of the coin, make it known, and we'll have that conversation. And of course, everyone's entitled to an opinion, and you'll have your opinion, we'll have ours, and we can have a conversation about that. So please do in the comment section. For everyone watching online, good morning. Please do jump in the comment section, drop your view and your opinion. So let's kick it off. Last week, the week before, the Friday on the 18th of this month of June, July, August. It's like
June, July,
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay,
I do that with everything. So I went to go and watch Sound of Freedom, right? Yes. The first Friday it came out. I wanted to go with Jay, our co-host, and he's not here today. He said he's going to come in a bit later. He's got a bunch going on in the morning. But I wanted to go watch the movie. And I said to him, bro, let's go watch this movie so we can have that conversation about it. And he couldn't come, whatever, long story short. I told him, dude, I have something on tonight. And this is literally the only little gap that I've got to go and watch the movie. There's a 2 o'clock show, there's a 5 o'clock show. 5 o'clock is going to be too late for me. I got a bunch going on at 7. I left everything. I went to the Glen, sat down. I watched it by myself. There were a couple of ladies down the aisle. There were some people in the back. It was a little bit empty, which was a bit disappointing because in America, this thing was like full. They sold out more than they thought they would. And so I'm sitting there watching this movie by myself. Bear in mind, I have 2 daughters, right? A 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. The reason I'm mentioning that is because the movie is obviously about, children going missing. And there's a bunch of words that you can't use on YouTube because then they block you and censor the thing. So we all know, Sound of Freedom, what the movie is about, right? They take children and they put them into the trade and it becomes a thing. So I'm watching this movie, picturing my little girls on this, especially the CCTV footage of the yes. live footage of how they're stealing the children and how they're doing it. Yeah. So obviously as a parent, and you're a parent as well, that whole emotion of that happening is a thing. So the movie is done, and after the movie, I walk out and I'm not sure how to feel. My heart is sore. I'm emotional. There's tears sitting right here.
Did you
it's
cry?
Like, I didn't cry, but my heart was sore. I was literally on the verge of like, oh, brah. It wasn't a moment of wanting to cry. It was more so a moment of
Deep
I'm
sadness.
sad, bruh.
There's a sadness that comes
sad,
with that
bro.
movie.
Yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad and angry at the same time. And so we came back Monday. We spoke about it, and you guys didn't want me to speak about it because you and Jay didn't go watch it yet. Then we debated, okay, let's go watch it. So then you finally went to go watch it. So that brings us to now. Now we can finally have the conversation. Spoiler alert, we are going to spoil, but I still feel like go and watch it.
Yes.
I still feel like go and watch it because there's no matter how we try and explain it or how we spoil it, I want it. It's a thing, and plus it's also like a social thing for us to go and support the movie. Because it's meant to help kids who are going through these things, the finances and whatever else. So go and watch it. Now Nicole finally went to go watch it. Tell us your experience there.
Okay, first and foremost, guys, I went by myself. Xavier put a bit of fear in me initially. He's like, woman mustn't go watch this movie. You know, it's going to make you paranoid. I think that is just false. I wasn't paranoid going into it. And I think maybe others might be, so I can't discredit that a lot of people might be paranoid after watching this movie, but it's very educational, especially for women to go and see the potential, because if you don't know how these people operate, you cannot protect yourself, you cannot protect your kids. So please understand, ladies, there might be an element of fear and worry to go and watch this movie, but you have to go and watch the movie to educate yourself, because people pose as scouts, as these type of people that come and they want to give a contract to your child, or your child's got a talent or whatever, and they want to scout them and bring them into these type of organizations. Meanwhile, you leave your child there for an audition or a photo shoot, you come back and your child's not there. So it's very educational. It's super, super, super important for you to go and watch it. So straight off the bat, that's the first thing that I need to say. Like, we shouldn't put fear in people about this movie. It's a brilliant movie that they need to watch because they need to know the dangers. People in South Africa have been human trafficked by going for job interviews. They go for an interview because we know the situation in our country. So you're getting called, you're going to town, you're going into an office, everything seems legitimate, you're sitting there's other ladies. Meanwhile, they're busy plotting, that is the last time you're ever going to like see the light of day here in South Africa. But if we don't speak about it and we don't show people are still lost, they're still blind, and they can still obviously get caught. So straight off the bat, that's the first thing that I want to say about the movie. We need to watch it, we need to promote it. He is a God-fearing man, what is his name?
The producer and the actors. In fact, the whole casting. Well, a lot of the crew there and the cast. It's the same guy that produces from Angel Studios. The same people who produce Chosen. So they are the people. But I wanted to say this to you. Yes, you don't want to perpetuate fear in the lives of people, right? But there is an element of when you watch it, you do think, especially if you have kids, you have a girl child as well. You think, hey, bruh, I must now be cautious about just leaving my child however, because you see what really happens. So for the spoilers, basically, I want to kind of give people last week Jay was pulling some points out of us, and
now we can really
speak about it. And the thing is, the movie starts off with the father taking his child, like you say, to a modeling audition.
Wait,
right?
Prior to that, I don't think we should give everything away.
No, I won't give everything.
But it's basically a lady posing. She is actually a model. She's a pageant queen or whatever. So she's a legitimate influencer, which is great and everything. So if you search this person, everything looks above board. It looks legit. So she sees the girl. She makes contact with the girl prior to actually going to visit the girl. So it's always like, it's subtle. It's a subtle approach. It's, oh, hi, oh my word, you got so much skills. Oh my word, it's soften you up, build a bit of trust. That's the first thing that they do, is build a bit of trust. Then the parent will maybe do a bit of research, see things look above board, and there's reviews and things like that, but it is syndicate. So as you mentioned, she goes to the family, she speaks to the father. The father's like, oh, I know this lady, she's a public figure. And then he proceeds to take his daughter to this audition. But then what the lady says is, no parents allowed. You need to come back at 7 o'clock and come and fetch your child. And that's where everything changes.
So then he takes the woman comes to fetch the child, or he takes the child to this room. He knocks, they open, he sees a bunch of other kids there. They take the child in. Before I continue with the story, I just want to jump in. Jay normally reads the comments. Jean-Pierre says, good morning, bro. Thanks for joining the conversation today. He says, what's the name of the church? It's called Crystal Church. And then Nikki obviously answered in there with the address and all that kind of thing. So you can pull through anytime, broski. When you pull through, just look for me. I'll come through. We can meet up and I'll greet and we'll do whatever needs to be done. But thank you again so much for pulling through. Guys, everyone that's watching on the TikTok, please jump over onto here. I'm gonna hop off here now so that you guys can go and show some love and support on there. Nicole, I'm gonna ask if you are able to also ask the people to go and continue the conversation there.
Definitely,
if
guys. Please do me a favor. Go to the Inside Show on YouTube right now. We are live. All the questions that we're going to be answering, because I know I have got a lot of questions here right now. Please hop on YouTube. I know you might not want to leave the platform, but leave it. Come, watch with us, interact with us. Share your questions, because I have seen some great questions that I will also be addressing here. But as we get into certain topics, please share. It helps us help other people. So I really appreciate it. Remember, the Inside Show on YouTube. Thanks, guys.
Alright, so the father takes his daughter, right? And kleed waar kyk ek hier of daar? Hier. Daar. Diana. Okay, so the father takes his daughter and he knocks on this door opens, there's a bunch of other kids and he thinks, okay, sharp. My child is safe, my child is in a good space. It's like a modeling agency kind of a vibe. He takes his kid there, his son and his daughter. In fact, this woman sees the son coming in afterwards, like, oh, who's this little boy? He's cute, he's da-da-da, you can bring him too. Father comes, single father, which I like the way they set this up, right, from a psychological perspective. The fact that, because sometimes these things can make it look like men are always these monsters and whatever, but it also shows that this is happening to a man. It's happening to a man with his two children. It's like, as much as the men are doing it, and also the fact that it's the woman that is baiting kind of the kids, it's a nice kind of balance of it doesn't over perpetuate this fact that men are stealing the children and does that and the other. It's showing that, okay, this is being done to a single father, and it's actually a woman that baited the kids in the first place.
You know why it's easy for even a man or a woman to get so easily trapped and like fall for this type of thing? Because it's a woman. Women tend to be softer, they motherly, they care, they love. So when a mother comes and approaches, I can immediately kind of trust. That motherly love. It's a woman, they soft, they sensitive, that type of thing. So it's easy for anybody to get bamboozled.
Exactly.
By a woman coming and doing that. Even with because a lot of you that know me, some of you that don't know me, I do lady self-defense. So I look after ladies in South Africa, protection, awareness, safety, and I'm obviously moving over to try and get to schools to speak to girls and stuff. So in this industry, I already know a lot. And this is something that is taught widely across the world. If a child gets lost, let's say in a mall or something like that, go to your nearest woman, a woman with a child. You teach your child to go to a woman with a child because they will be safer with another woman that has a child. So if you look at a movie like this, it makes you understand, don't just go to any woman, you go to a woman that has a child.
But even then, they can still fugazi you. Like, she can walk there with a kid, act as if it's.
Of course.
But it's obviously more. I hear what you're definitely saying. But here's the thing, right? So now, the father comes, does this whole thing, drops the kid off. The woman says, you must come back, like, say, 7 o'clock tonight. Okay, no problem. He goes home, does his business. He comes back 7. He's looking. He says, okay, this is the door that I left my kid. Knocks. Oh, what gaan on? Knocks. And no one's answering. Opens the door. Empty. The house is empty. He's like, and then, where's my child? And now that feeling immediately of that sinking feeling of like, hey, bro, where's my child? I can imagine that. I know that feeling if something happens or you get that bad phone call. Is that like, your heart is like, hey.
But it's fear. That's immediate fear that sets in. What happened? Because it's like, anything, even if you're in a situation like when you guys were held up in Cape Town, it's that immediate, I have no control
of the situation.
I don't know what to do, because most people are not level-headed in strenuous, traumatic, difficult situation, because they don't prepare, they don't premeditate certain things. And I think that's where I'm very strong. I premeditate a lot of things so that if something happens, I'm level-headed and I can deal with it a lot quicker versus, oh my God, I need to panic. Oh, something happened. I literally know if, as an example, I get hijacked and my car is taken and I don't have my cell phone, what's my next moves, A to Z. I've got that. If somebody breaks into my house, whether that's in the middle of the night, if I'm awake, if I'm downstairs, upstairs, wherever I am, I've already played scenarios in my head to make sure I'm level-headed, to ensure my safety, my daughter's safety, my family's safety, you know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of people lack. They don't
but
prepare.
I think you must think your way through it. Like, because I do the same thing. I think like, okay, this happens, what am I going to do now? And that's why in 3 different scenarios where I was under direct attack from a perpetrator like this, I could stay like, okay, right, make this. To the point where my wife was saying, no, don't do that. Because I was in that scenario of the Cape Town man, I was ready to go and fight this guy, because I was thinking, at some point this guy needs to leave now. He has a knife, he's the only one. He's short, he's small, maybe. You know, I'm trying to weigh up the options here. But be that as it may, father comes, children are gone. Now he doesn't know what to do. Fast forward to the agent that the movie is basically based on, right? His name is what now? Tim Ballard, right? And he is based on a true story. This really did happen. He also has a big family, has all these kids, and he's working on these cases. So he finally finds this one pedophile. And he attacks him and he locks him up, and this whole story happens. And he basically now begins to trail the story as to, have you seen this little girl? Have you seen this little boy? And he tries to build trust with the pedophile to the point where the pedophile trusts him and starts opening up to him. And then that's how he starts following his leads, follows his leads.
You know what I think actually set him off? It was his partner. I don't know if you remember the scene where he's sitting with his partner in the car.
He says, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's like, it's a difficult industry to be in. But when they're outside the car and he says, so how many pedophiles have you caught to date? And he gives the number. And then he's like, so how many kids have you found? That was, that there's certain moments in the movie that was very profound for me, that really stuck with me, that it's that one seed that gets planted, because that was the seed. He went and he sat, and then as he was filling out his report, you could see the tear fall from his eye. And it's those seeds that are planted in us, small little seeds that actually invoke action for us to actually do something. It's like if your house is broken into, that is a seed that is planted for you to put barbed wire cameras, get ADT. Seeds are planted in different ways that push us over the edge, that actually make us do this. So I thought that was very profound, where he wasn't worried about it. I mean, he's doing his job for all these years. I'm catching pedophiles. But then someone asks him a question and just makes him think. It just flips a switch, and then look what happened.
And then when that happened and he went to go and see how these children are being like trafficked and all that, that's when this guy comes to the point where he's like, yo, I gotta do something. And then another big moment is that conversation he has with his wife, where he phones his chief and says, my bro, I can't come home. There's still like, yes, bro, there's so many children that needs to be saved. And then the chief says, yeah, but don't forget, you're almost on retirement, you're gonna get X amount, what, just forget about it. You must now found this child, leave it now, you gave the child back to the father, you did your job, come home. Then he's like, bro, it's not that simple. I can't just come home. Because the thing that happens is, this little boy says, can you help me find my sister? And this is the thing that hooks him. He's like, I found the boy, which is fine, but now I can't just say,
leave her in the system.
I'm alright, I found us. Like, and the
so
chief
cute.
even says to him, you already gave us man his one child back. That's not now enough. Leave it now. And he's like, I can't just leave it. And then he phones his wife. Then he says to his wife, look here, those people are saying, if I don't leave the story, I'm on my own. Then the wife says, my bro, do what you gotta do. Don't worry about the government. Don't worry about your backup. Don't worry about what.
I got you.
I got you and God's got you. And then the wife like basically prays to say that, look here, God, give him the strength to say that he must go and do this thing. Because the reason I know that because that he said in the interview, the outside interview, he says then his wife was like, baby, go and get those kids. And that gave him that courage to say, now I'm going to... And now he has to maneuver his way into he has to kind of go into the underworld and meet like shady people to get to the point where he actually gets 60 kids and he saves them. So for you to really see how he managed, I want people really to go and watch the movie.
It's a really good movie. Even the production, like many times we think of certain movies, maybe like Christian movies, the budget is low and the quality is not gonna, guys.
It's
it
corny
was
acting.
Exceptional. Everything from the intro to the
The
outro.
outro.
It was
the way it starts and the way it ends.
Absolutely
Proper.
brilliant. How it started, how it ended. It really is so captivating. And in the movie that I went to, it was the same place you went. Did you also see that how dilapidated the cinema was that they gave this movie? So guys, I took a little bit of a video. I will put it up on my socials and stuff. Because it was obviously dark in the cinema, but the seats are peeling. They literally had tape on a lot of the seats.
Tape on a lot of the seats. Yeah.
And that's the cinema that they chose to put this movie in.
But look here, the
which
Glen.
says a lot.
But look here, the Glen. You can't charge people. You can't park the car there. You can't charge people 100 rand and then your cinema looks like that. Come on now, guys. Come on now, guys. No, man. How am I paying 100 rand for broken chairs and tape around the chairs? It's a bad look on the Glen Shopping Center. I don't know how the other movie houses look, but there's a bad look on New Metro there.
Yes.
There's a bad look on you guys, New Metro. You can't be charging 100 rand for dilapidated cinema. Come on, guys. You gotta sort yourselves out in it.
Do better.
You gotta sort yourselves out.
So,
But guys,
so let me explain to you. You saw what happened globally with this movie. There was aircons that weren't working. Apparently the movie is not playing. There's all kinds of things that's gonna try. The devil will try any and everything to prevent people from seeing this. So you need to understand, they're not really pushing this movie. I didn't even know. And I've been on this tip with you before the movie was released here. I didn't even know it was released. Yet I'm on social media all the time. It just shows that there's always a plot. There's always something trying to stop us from getting to the truth. So understand that, yes, it was, I couldn't be bothered. Even if I was sitting on the floor, I needed to watch that movie. But they should obviously do better. But I didn't expect the sun and the stars at the same time. We're going for a purpose. We're going to go and watch that movie. Doesn't matter what's around you. When I walked in the cinema, there was one person. On a Friday. On a Friday.
I also went on a Friday.
But I went in the evening and it was full. Like the mall was full. It was busy. The movies was full. And then of all the places, the other three people that came, they came and sat next to me. I mean, there's a whole cinema. What made you choose? Right here. But I made friends with him. And this guy actually showed me towards the end of the movie, like when they were showing, like giving credit to the guy that actually did this and rescued the kids. He showed me right here in Klipprivier. I don't know if you saw it, but there was, I think, a Kumbi or a truck or a bus full of our children in Klipprivier that was
right
stopped.
up the road.
Friend, last week they caught them. They were taking these children out of the country.
But now this is the thing that I'm saying. This movie is not there in America and there and waar and hy shame die kinders. Hey boss. This thing is happening right here, like you're saying, in Klipprivier, which is up the
It's
road.
around the corner from where we live. It's
literally
not
around
even
the corner from where I live. Literally and from where you live. It's like right here. So now, and here's the thing. Where's those kids coming from? The Glen, Mall of the South, East Rand Mall, East Gate, wherever. It's the children are coming from
all
around
over
here. And that's where we live. And we have children that age. So it's like, hey, bro, it's not a thing of far-fetched. It's here. But because of time, I want us to hop on to the next conversation. Do you have some comments there? Nikki was saying. Do you want to read it?
This is the biggest fear when I take my daughter to auditions. I go in with her wherever she goes. I'm way too scared, and my daughter has talent, but I always fear, like, the fear always creeps in with Veronique. And I can understand from a mother's point of view, and you must tell me from a father's point of view as to why that happens. Because you've heard the stories, because you've seen certain things, it will make you wary. But at the end of the day, we cannot trust a stranger. No matter who you think it is, no matter how glitz and glam, this is what the movie showed me. Don't just trust a stranger because they seem trustworthy. Always pray over your children. Zach said it last week. Pray over your children because the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy, and he will get you off guard on that day when you're not thinking, when you're not focusing. So go with your child everywhere. That's what I do. She's with me at all. I'm not, even if I'm standing in the line to buy food, you're standing right here and I'm holding on to her. Because you've seen the videos where they literally grab and run. So always be alert. Even though you don't want to be paranoid and live with fear, just do it.
Be alert. Yeah.
Be alert, yeah.
So, and then Devon says, hey team, good movie, yeah? Being made aware as a parent is vital of the realities that is happening in our country, no doubt. Okay, so being vigilant as parent is vital. Definitely, that's what we're saying. Yeah, we agree with you there, brother. Do you wanna take us to where do you wanna go, Brics or this marriage thing?
Let's go, Brics. I wanna end on the marriage thing because I wanna kind of like have a scenario-based conversation with you specifically on that. So let's talk Brics. Let's do this here. So let's talk Brics. What did you hear, obviously, about the summit and everything? I made a video, so I'm going to just touch on things that you maybe don't mention, just to give people a high-level overview about Brics and what you understand, and if you heard anything about what happened at the summit. Let's go.
So I went to Sandton last week and I actually was in and around Sandton. I saw it's heavily guarded. There's police on every corner. There's helicopters flying around. So obviously the president of China, Xi Jinping, he's here or was here. And then the president of Brazil was also here or is here. And I'm not sure about Russia. And no, they said Putin's not coming and all that.
He had
kind
a
of thing.
representative.
Yeah, so he had a representative, and then India, I'm not sure
the president came.
The president was actually here. So that was the rowdiness going on there. What I do definitely know is that the Americans are getting a little bit worried about this BRICS situation because it's obviously threatening the US dollar now, because also BRICS is going to be backed by gold, and obviously, and that's what I said last week. I feel that the reason that South Africa is even involved in situations like this is because the natural resources in our country is vast, right? We got diamonds, we got gold, we got gas, we got a bunch going on. We have iron ore, we have magnesium. What do you call it thing? Magnesium. No, there's another, not magnesium. There's another name, but it's also like a iron kind of a situation going on there. So we have a bunch of natural resources that obviously they need to make products and all of that. So for me personally, I feel that's the only reason we're even part of this whole thing. I don't know if there's another reason, but I feel strongly that is part of the reason. Then of course, as the story unfolded, there were a bunch of other countries also. I think they said like 16 other countries or something like that. 40 other countries that decided they also want to hop in on the action. And what stood out to me was the fact that a country like the United Arab Emirates is also hopping in on the action. So now my thing is this: if all the big role players are jumping in on BRICS, right, and we are on the forefront of BRICS, there's a pro and a con to this. The pro is that we are literally now overnight becoming part of one of the strongest alliances that the world has ever seen. Like in one stroke of the pen, we are becoming so strong. So this weak little country here where the government is corrupt and the army looks like you see the army there by McDonald's or after time more than you see them working, doing anything constructive, or even when you see them where there's these riots and all of this, you see them that they unable to even subside a riot. You think to yourself, okay, so now what's going on here? But now that we're joining with countries, especially like China, especially like India, these are massive countries. They got strong military forces. They on top of the game when it comes to their things. So it kind of gives you this kind of sense of security that you are part of these countries. So, but I can't help to think that there's something like tricky going on behind the scenes. It's just my spider senses are like, this sounds a bit too good to be true. And the fact that the Americans are super afraid of what might happen to the dollar or what will happen to the dollar if this does go all the way through. Because then, of course, you're only going to have some of the Western countries, and then majority of the world's population is actually going to now be part of BRICS, which is scary for the West.
Are you confident? Are you happy that we're part of BRICS?
I'm pessimistic. There's a word that I'm looking for since last week that I'm struggling to get. Sometimes I get it and it slips on my. But I'm conflicted with the reasoning behind it, because I know it's probably just for the natural resources. And there's something in the back of my mind that thinks there's a string attached.
Can I tell you what that back of your mind is? Prophetically, things are unfolding. And that's why you say it's your spider senses. I think it's deeper than, I think it's Holy Spirit. And this is something we definitely need to pray about. And a lot of people, people that we might know of, influencers and pastors, ministers around the world that are looking at it through a different lens. So I think that's something that we need to do, is genuinely think about this entire situation and understand that everything, we never take things at surface value. We look at it, we assess it, we pray about it. And then God reveals things to us. So that's something that we must remember. That's why when you feel this, and I asked you if you're happy about it, it's to really gauge, do you understand? Have you thought about it? Because we definitely have to pray about it. As a nation, we've been part of Brics since 2010. So it's not like great things have been happening because of Brics. We've been in Brics, but our government is still corrupt. We still have a lot of unemployment. Crime is just getting worse and worse. So what's the benefit? You obviously said they after our resources. We know that. I made a video. I did mention it's on 1.4 million views on Brics itself. And there's a lot of feedback coming in, and you see the fear. You see the anger from people. A lot of people, especially outside of South Africa, from America, they angry. Like, don't say the dollar's going to get dethroned. It might just get dethroned because the dollar is backed by nothing. Where Brics will be backed by gold. And if you haven't noticed or you didn't know, over the last good couple of years, countries have been stockpiling gold in the tons. And my question is why? Because of a thing that's coming, that which will also be included, like crypto and all of that. A lot of things are changing. But most people aren't looking at that. They're looking at the normal news. They see what's happening. They, instead of focusing on what Brics is about and how Brics can benefit us, people are actually focused on, oh my word, the president of India didn't want to get off his plane because Ramaphosa wasn't on the tarmac to greet him. You know that? That's what people are focused on.
Those are mediocre issues compared to what's really popping out.
But this is our media. This is what our media is focusing on, the fact that, no, they had to send a representative because the president of India wouldn't get out of his plane.
And that's a low-hanging fruit. It's like, bro, what does that have to do with
But drama. They'd rather focus on that or then focus on the real issues. And a lot of people are upset because, oh, Brics this. We're putting so much effort and time and resources into Brics. There's no load shedding. When the other presidents are here, we've got power. But let them just leave. Brics is over. Load shedding. Back 2-3 times a day. People still don't have water. So the real issues in our country is just not being addressed. It's like we know it's there. We've become so desensitized to it. And now it's like, okay, well, it's just another thing that's broken in our society. And
we just live with it.
So that's why I think a lot of South Africans are angry, because we're always talking about new things, but we never fixing the actual problems. We always just, okay, we're working on, we're potentially going to, but then at the end of the day, we've lost trust.
But I feel South Africans know, like, we know in our hearts, we, like, when you think about, when Cyril comes onto the screen, you're already thinking, oh, Lord, please.
Yeah, no. I don't even know if people really watch him. Maybe the news watch him just to hear what he says. But further than that, we've lost faith.
And he's lost credibility, and rightfully so, because he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. Question here is, I'm struggling to pronounce the name. Leandra.
Yeah.
How would Brics affect South Africans trying to work in the USA? Look, countries have treaties and kind of, they sign alliances and things with one another. So if we prop ourselves up to be a not an ally to the United States, and we prop ourselves up to be in opposition to the United States, I don't think they're going to take kindly to that. I think they will start putting in kind of restrictions like, yeah, so you're almost now against us, so we're going to make it difficult for your people to get visas, or we're going to make it difficult for you. And so this happens, right? I've traveled extensively across the planet a number of times, and that's how bureaucracy works. It's like, if you're feeling some type of way, we're going to make the visa process difficult. So they might not say anything, But now you go there to Santon, there the US embassy is there. You stand in a long line there. You get a date to come and do your visa. You go in, they question you, where you going, why you going, do you have an invite, do you have this, that, and the other. You say, no, I'm going there for so many months and whatever the case might be. Then they say, okay, your visa application is going to take 3 weeks or whatever. Then you come home, you paid your 5,000 rand or however how much it was to make your visa, and then now you're sitting and waiting for your application. Then your application comes back, all of a sudden, unfortunately,
Declined.
you did not, it was declined for whichever reason. Nobody knows why. They're not going to explain to you why. And that's kind of how the underlying systems work. They won't outrightly say, we don't want South Africans here, we don't want us here, we don't want that. But they lead you with those, like, your things declined, they can't explain to you why, stuff like that. So they can play that game. I'm not saying they will, but they can if they want to.
So from my side, just to touch on that, if you are already working in America, I don't think it will make much of a difference, except in terms of when you want to trade, because a lot of people have been asking about this whole Brics. The Brics is going to be like for every one Brics you need $55. That will only like really affect countries trading amongst each other because they want to dethrone the dollar. So right now the US dollar, the petrodollar, is the world reserve currency. That means every single country all around the world has to have dollars so that we can trade. So if I want to maybe buy something from the UK, they operating in pounds, we in rands, but we both need to use dollars to trade with, and then we change it back into our money to obviously claim that money. So that's what BRICS is basically trying to do, is to take the fact that we all around the world need to use the dollar. So that's not going to be the standard anymore. And if we use BRICS, hence all these countries jumping on board, because number one, it's backed by gold. It's worth a lot more. And so many people are tired of America because America are bullies.
I was just going to ask you, I was literally going to go to that point now. Do you think especially most of the conservative, because if you think about it, a lot of African countries are still very conservative. As much as the mainstream media tries to perpetuate that we all okay with the LGBT movement, we all okay with the woke movement, a lot of people in public, they won't say it because they're scared of being cancelled, deplatformed, whatever. But around the dinner table, it's like, nah, man, this is not right. How are they forcing us to do this? Why are they forcing this? Why are they forcing this? In private, people are having these conversations because the vast majority of our country is still very conservative. A lot of people are still very much like, nah, man, we're not agreeing with a lot of these things being forced down our throats. So do you think those woke ideologies and kind of Americans, like you're saying, they bullies, they come in, they force their way upon you, they strong arm you, like even if you, like I've been running a YouTube channel for years, bro. I've been in the vlogging space, I've been in the clickbait space, I've been in the how to make a thumbnail to make sure people click on it. I've been there and I struggle to get views and follows and all of this. It took me like 3 years just to get 1,000 subscribers. And I was telling Anka the other day, I feel like some of these American YouTubers, they just start a platform and then 1, 2, 3, they got 5,000 subscribers, they start getting monetized, they start this, they start that.
So you
and then
think
you
maybe
watch
it's
their
because
content.
because it's American, so they're being pushed.
I think yes. I think the algorithm does push certain things. I think the numbers there. I think the fact that they get sponsorships and all that kind of things. A lot of the YouTubers you'll see. So this episode is sponsored by so and so and so and so. Go and get your shaving cream at this and that and that and that. So I do believe that the market there is wider. I think obviously because of the numbers, the amount of people that are watching, consuming content, the amount of people that have access to internet, all of that. So I do believe that what I'm doing, the exact same thing if I was living in Los Angeles or wherever, would have probably got double the amount of views. Something like that.
Okay, so let me help you understand a couple of things also with social media, just in general. So, firstly, you are right with the Americans. They're going to support Americans. They understand the lingo, the time zones, that the time that you post versus the time that they post. Remember, it's a completely different time zone. So if we post at whatever time, they might still be sleeping. So you need to consider that. Also, our accents, certain things that we do, they will not understand. So it's like foreign. For us watching American shows, it's a lot easier because we've been westernized already. We watch all of their shows, the blockbusters, everything. So that's why it's easy for us to watch them. But it's not as easy for them to watch us. Even our music. For them to latch on to whether it's a piano or house music or whatever, it takes them longer because they don't understand it. They are in their little bubble. They still think we've got giraffes and lions for animals.
in our
So
backyards.
that's one thing to consider. Then the second thing to consider about social media is there's multiple different ways in which you can obviously get the views. And I think the biggest thing a lot of local creators forget is, number one, you want to be dynamic. You need to have a niche. With that niche, you need to add value. The more value you add, the more people are going to come back. So if I'm just having a conversation with you and we're adding zero value to the world, we're just talking, then we might as well just put the cameras off. Nobody needs to watch us. So it's about adding value. The more value you add, the more people come back. So I do understand in terms of you've had your channel, you've had your show for so long and you haven't been able to grow your page. Yet I am able to do the same thing, but I identify my target market. And I think this is something that a lot of people just don't understand. They get demotivated because they don't understand. Marketing is a different ballgame and it changes all the time. The algorithm changes. So it's not just about your thumbnail. It's about current topics. I'll use the example with my TikTok video. It's a current topic. The day Brics started, I knew it was going to be everywhere. People are searching it on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Google, all of these places. So I made a video and I posted it on the day that Brics is starting. Why? Because it's relevant. So if we speak about, let's say we speak about Sound of Freedom in 5 months' time.
No one cares.
You understand? So it's making sure your content is relevant and making sure like your title and everything, it's what people want to hear.
But
Where the clickbait actually starts.
Where I'll push back a little bit on what you're saying now is majority of what you're saying is accurate and I agree with. The pushback would be on platforms like YouTube, right? When I started on platforms like TikTok and I posted the same thing that I post on Instagram, then I get 300,000 views. It's like more open. People are watching.
Can I tell you why?
But when you post that same thing on their platform, so I still do believe that there are certain platforms that and this is why people end up using what do you call this thing where it shows that you're in a VPNs, right? Some people will use VPNs because
to block your location
to make your location somewhere else, because then it opens your video to a different market altogether. Because I'm telling you, there's somebody that's sitting in Los Angeles or in Texas or whatever that can make the same content as you on YouTube, right? I'm speaking about YouTube specifically as a platform. TikTok is nice. TikTok, your thing goes and it really does go, right? But YouTube as a platform, you can make the same video as a lady sitting in Texas and talk about the same thing. Your production quality can be better. You're using a better camera. You're snapshotting. Your shots are moving. You're doing the things. Your thumbnail is nice and clean. It's the quality is high. And then hers is from her phone. The quality is a little bit 720.
Same topic, just quality, everything.
Yours is better, right? But she's gonna have more subscribers, she's gonna have more followers, she's gonna have more viewers, she's gonna have a lot more simply because of that location. And this is why people use VPNs to try and change their locations, because also her video is going to be open to a different market. That's why when you watch Netflix, you'll find they'll say this movie is only available in this country or that country. Yeah. Then you must VPN it, and then you can all of a sudden watch, because that is how they call it those geo fencing. They geo fence your stuff, and so you'll find this. Same thing you do, someone else is doing, they'll get a better response.
Okay, so my question to you then is, are you doing it for the views? Are you doing it for the followers? What's the point? I need to just know, what is the point of you posting, why YouTube? Because you can get paid from YouTube, because that's the biggest difference. It's one of the biggest platforms, I understand, and it pays the best. Is that the reason why?
Get monetized. So it's twofold. Obviously, you want to get rewarded for your efforts. Nobody wants to be sitting making videos, editing this.
When you say rewarded, is that just in terms of like viewership, subscribers,
and financially?
Okay.
In all areas.
Okay.
The same argument you made earlier that I can rather post this here because I get a million followers.
Okay,
as
so
opposed
we
to
understand you posting it because obviously I want to grow, I want my audience and monetize.
Exactly, but now you must ask yourself, why is the audience watching me? What am I giving us people? Why are they coming back? What's the point of them coming here to watch me? So obviously you must understand your niche. You must understand what it is that you are putting on the table to that making people. I'm a car enthusiast. Most of the vloggers I watch, Daily Driven Exotics, I watch Stradman, I watch these guys because I'm a car content guy. I want to watch the Lamborghinis flying around and the Ferraris and the this and the that.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the original question. So you're doing it for the views, you're doing it for the money that you could potentially get. And if you don't get that certain things, then you're demotivated. So my question is, if you look at the platform like TikTok, I'll always go back to TikTok. I think in terms of a business sense, never do it for, like, what is your motive? That's basically what I'm trying to find out. If you just want to add value, the followers will come. At the end of the day, what's the point in having 1 million people follow you, but you can't, let's say, monetize it? Like, I've got a business. I couldn't be bothered if you follow me, but can I convert you into a customer at the end of the day?
Which I think anyone wants.
Anyone wants, but not everyone can do. So before you start thinking, oh, I want to get paid from YouTube, oh, I want to, first focus on building so that people can trust you, so that people, they just keep coming back. So put that monetization, the other stuff, just the monetization of it now, put that aside. Focus on building value, making a platform where people want to come back to. Everything will come. Everything has its time. It's about consistency. So I bring it back to business. If you want a business that's successful, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 6 months. It's not going to happen in 12 months unless you have the experience. But a lot of people, they get demotivated. Go look at some of the biggest YouTubers. Look at KSI. Go and look, he was on Vine. He was on all of these places. He wasn't blowing up until later on, and now look how big is his platform. But it took him years of consistency, how he was bullied, how people made memes about him. And it broke him, but it also built him. Look, same with Nadia Jefta. She used to make pranks. She used to do all this.
But
now,
do you think someone like Nadia Jefta can ever get on a Logan Paul platform or on a KSI platform or on any of these massive YouTubers that are pulling, 5 million, a Jake Paul,
look, I think
at one video?
She could look, some of her videos are on 15, 16, 30, 40 million views, and she's not even doing much. She's with a boyfriend.
On YouTube? Or on TikTok?
She could, but here's the thing.
Because remember, TikTok's algorithms open like this.
Yes, but here's the thing.
Nicely.
You need to understand, like your Logan Pauls, it also took them years, number one, to build it. Somebody like Nadia Jefta, what is her niche?
But then again, what is Logan Paul and them's niche? They were just vlogging. Hey guys,
exactly.
what's up? Jumping off things.
But look at how they've changed. Look,
now
now they have brands. As they get bigger, as they start learning, they start adding. They first added value, did all the nonsense for views and whatever. Built an audience. People watch them grow up. Now they're at the point, okay, I've got Prime, I've got this and this. And slowly they start bringing things where they can really start making money. KSI, when he started, did he have Prime?
No, that's obviously after him.
So this is what the point I'm trying to help you understand is that it takes time, but add value. People are watching. Even if they don't sub, they are watching. So
Definitely.
this is something you need to remember. It's gonna take time and the money will come.
Remember, you literally speaking to someone that was vlogging for like 5 years every day. That time I was watching, it's every day, bro. You can go onto my YouTube channel now and you will go see. In 2016, I was literally vlogging every single day.
You were, but the time that you were doing it, a lot of people, we weren't on this train yet. You have to understand, you were way ahead of your time.
I was, and that's the frustration. And then when I stopped vlogging, then all of a sudden, he come make G and he come then I'm sitting looking at us, I was like, bro, I've been on this journey.
But you're tired already, you were already
demotivated. But now it's like, yeah, bro, I do this every day. The most I got was like 300 views, 400 views. It's like, then, the niche based again. When I bought my Porsche, vlogging, hey guys, this is a 1-year review of my Porsche, 7,000 views. Hey guys, I bought this car,
so
now this and this and this,
20,000
views. So now, then I saw, okay, if I vlog about the cars, I have an audience in that space. But now I'm conflicted because the car space is
not the space you want to be in.
It's not the space I want to be in. I like it. I enjoy. I can talk about cars the whole day, and I get the views. But then I'm
not adding value.
I am adding value. When I bought that new Aval, I was showing people how to switch on this, how to switch on that, how to make the lane assist work. Yes, it is. And in the comment sections, people are like, "Yo, bro, I never knew my car could do this."
Is that really value?
It actually is.
Xavier?
From the
what
angle that the angle that you're asking from, it's no.
Of course.
And that's where the conflict comes. And that's where I'm like, I can sit and do this and get 20,000 views. But then that's not what I want to be doing. And that's where the conflict arises, right? Even the daily vlogging, my whole thing, let me show the world that you can be a Christian family that raises your family
and family school.
And family values and make family look cool and does that and the other. And I was doing that. Then I started getting worried about, I don't want to be putting my kids on blast like this. I don't want to be like showing them more. So it's like all those conflicts. And then all that makes me like back down. But now we're going so far off top. But I still think this is adding value because a lot of people
course,
want to be
people
content
need to
creators.
know, and this is what I do. I literally help people on a daily if I go live and stuff. I do charge for business consulting, but I also assist. And even with things like marketing, people see I've got a big following, and I've got it because I understand certain things. So when you want to build something, always consider it's like a business. If you want to change a habit or break a habit, it's not going to happen overnight. Everything takes time, it takes commitment, it takes consistency. And certain things you might do it and it's not the right time. Like my TikTok, a lot of people on social media, they say you need to have a niche, especially on TikTok. I don't have a niche. I'm building a dollhouse today. Tomorrow I'm talking about Brics. Then I'm making ginger beer. And I'm going viral after viral after viral because I think TikTok has realized, okay, this girl does everything. But my followers now also, I'm adding that value every time. Even if I'm giving a ginger beer recipe, I'm showing somebody how to make something that would cost a lot more if you go and buy it. But now you can make so much more.
Here's my question. Is that information valuable to tell someone they need a niche? Because come and tell you, that's where I got stuck. I was like, bruh, I'm getting hella views when I'm making car videos. I'm getting hella views when my wife and I are speaking about relationships. But then I know that's not the question you're saying. Is that the value? And I know what you're asking. I know behind the lines.
Can I show you how to do that?
Is that the value? So now I'm conflicted. Hey, one day I'm making a car video text like, next day I'm making this, next day I'm making that. Like what you're saying now. Then I'm thinking, so now what's the point of my channel? Is it now a car channel? Is it now a marriage channel? Is it now a what?
But why must you have one niche? You're not one person that just does
one thing. But that's what I'm saying. Is that constructive advice? Because that advice makes you sit and think, now I must now leave this side of my life and now focus on this side of my life.
You see,
because that's what happened
when
to
you
me.
go to school, they tell you there's one right answer. It's wrong. So you need to unlearn certain things. So what I'm basically trying to tell you with like my social media, I made a dollhouse. It got 1 million views. But in that video of me building a dollhouse for my daughter, I'm marketing my business. I'm asking questions. Ladies, do you feel safe? Have a look. I'm doing lady self-defense keychains. So when I'm making another video, here comes a pop-up. Come check out my website. So I'm using the very things that I know will get me those views. So with you in the car, doing a review, you're like, ooh, guys, ooh, I forgot something. They're watching you because you're doing a car thing, but you're like, I forgot something. Let me quickly get my cross so I can put it here on my review mirror because you know I need to. And then immediately in that same video, you're praying over your car. People will see, this man is praying over his car. I never prayed over my car. So you use the very thing that you know is getting the views.
But I think that's the information people should get. Not find a niche, because then I started thinking, okay, maybe I must have a car channel and then just focus on that. Okay, maybe because I can show you can go onto my YouTube channel now and you'll see my car videos are getting over the couple of thousands views, right? But then the second I speak about something else, then it's like, and then that's where your mind's like, okay, maybe I must focus on this because this is what's pulling the views. You see, so that's the thing, that niche story, and then I'm conflicted spiritually by.
You want to add value.
I want to add value. I don't want to speak about
At the end of the day,
cars.
nothing actually matters. But we did go really off topic, but I hope that helped a lot of people. We need to jump into this marriage act.
Our last 10 minutes, guys, let's jump into this marriage.
Can we push it to 15 minutes? Maybe 20. Okay. It's really, you need this information. In what
go.
you do, you never read the bill.
I didn't, so you're gonna now. I just want to read. Don't you want to read Devon's?
Hold on, let me go out here. I'm in my notes here because I have questions I need to ask you. Oh wait, sorry about that, guys. You could have just read that thing.
Sorry, Devon is. Nah, I mean read it.
In reality, looking at the country's economical status in Brics, the currencies of this country is a mess. We know that. American dollar has the edge for now. They do have the edge for now, but I think that will
if
kind
you
of
join
disappear.
Brics, it literally changes the whole game.
It just makes it stronger. Like safety in numbers, strength in numbers. That's the concept.
But let's go to the marriage one because I don't want us to go back now there because we're gonna end up spending too much time there.
Yeah, we just go way off. Okay, so there's 3 marriage acts, right?
Go through them.
So the first one is the Marriage Act of 1961. That's more the traditional, a monogamous marriage, a man and a wife. It's the tradition, the religious definition of it, a man and a woman.
Which is, by the way, the only definition of marriage.
100%. In South Africa, we must want to be inclusive. So then you also have the Civil Act. That's, I think... No, I think the Civil Act is what you believe. So this is for same-sex marriages. So it's a what you believe.
If you feel like you like another
Yeah,
guy,
then
go
if you
do
want
it.
to be a whatever, you want to be a brick today, be a brick. And then you have what's the other one? You have another one. So it's the civil, there's like the other one is like a cultural one. I can't remember the act.
yes, that's the cultural. That
So
one I'm aware
that's
of.
more tradition and that I
the
can't.
whole story with La Bola, and
Yes.
if you after you've done certain rituals, you technically married.
Yes, so that's to cover, obviously, because we've got so many different cultures and so many different belief systems and all of that
You
in
get
the
the
country.
white wedding and the traditional wedding, that whole story.
100%. So we've currently got those 3 acts in South Africa. You as a religious leader, then do the monogamous. You get married. You have to be over the age of 18. You can't get married to somebody else. So this new act that they want to propose, or they're proposing, it's already there. It's up for debate, guys. Please go on to Home Affairs because they're trying to push this agenda to take all 3 acts and put it into one.
Now you see, that's gonna take our power away.
I don't know. I don't want to say it's your power, but it's your freedom to practice freely or to marry someone freely. So, basically, in a nutshell, I'm gonna put some scenarios in front of you. A same-sex couple comes to you and says you must marry them. What are you saying?
According to the word of God, as a Christian.
Right now, I come to you and I say,
yes. According to the word of God, as a Christian, that doesn't constitute as marriage, according to the word of God. And marriage is a biblical institution.
Okay.
So I can't.
So you're gonna say no.
I'll say no. Yes.
Okay. So
I won't say no because I don't love the person. I won't say no because it
goes against what you believe.
It goes against what I believe, and unfortunately, I can't.
Okay. So what if I tell you now with this new act?
You can't say no.
If you say no, you can either get sued, you can go to jail, you can lose your license.
That's why I said it's going to infringe on my ability to be able to.
Your freedom.
So basically, what it's doing, it's coming against Christianity. If you all these
Of
things,
course.
even the LGBT movement and all this, it's all because this is all part of the LGBT movement.
Of course.
When you get down to the bottom of it, that's what it's trying to perpetuate.
Look, I think it's a demonic thing in general, whether it's the LGBTQ community or like this cultural thing, or it's demonic. Because basically what they're trying to do is get rid of the Christian belief system that there's only one way, just like there's only one right answer.
There's no freedom of religion then. So then you must scrap the freedom of religion thing, because freedom of religion states that if I'm choosing that this is my belief system and this is my religion, then you must respect that and leave me alone. As same way you feel like you in love with another man and you expecting me to respect that and leave you alone to go do you. The respect has to be mutual, because the respect is saying, Sykes, I love this man and I feel my law says I'm allowed to. I know the Bible says I'm not allowed to, and I know Christianity says I'm not allowed to, but the law of South Africa says I can, so I will.
So it's gonna force you to either break God's law to obey
or
the
break
South
the country's
Africa
law.
or to obey South Africa's law, or you're going to break South Africa's law to obey
Yeah, then
God's
I'll
law.
break South Africa's law, because the Bible says like that. The Bible says that the law of God comes before
All
the
the laws.
of your countries and your what and your
Okay, so now you've
if your
got that
country goes
understanding.
against God, then you must
Leave your
choose one.
country.
Then your
Okay, so
country must go
you
for that.
understand that now. That's one aspect that could affect the church as a whole. One of the things that they're also proposing now, there's going to be new marriage office officials. So there's new training that's required. So if you are a marriage official now, you'll remain one until your license expires or until your license is revoked. So your license can obviously be revoked from a minister or one of the officials if you say no. Because these activists, they will target religious leaders. We know
That's
this, it happened overseas.
That's the point of the whole thing. Let's just get that straight. It's not because of Islam and because of what. It's to target Christianity. That's just the bottom line.
Not just that. So I'm obviously just touching on one of the topics. So another part of it is polygamy, right? So culturally, we know monogamous. It's a man and a wife. You can't get married to somebody else. The polygamy side of things is also being added. So a man can marry multiple women in the different cultures that's allowed. But I think what's also making it a little messy for South Africans is only men can marry multiple wives. They need to be obviously over the age of 18 and all of those things, but you need permission from your first wife or your other wives to marry them. And an official at the court needs to grant certain things, because if you marry like 4 or 5 women, you need to provide for all of them. If there's an inheritance, how is it shared, all of that. So that side of things, but now it's getting messy where people are like, but what about women? Why can't women also marry many men? So on that side, that's also being put into this bill. I think the biggest thing that people are not talking about, and this is really what I actually want to hear your thoughts on, is culturally, they say it's okay that if you got a daughter or whatever, you can give your daughter over to a man and he can marry your child, but the child needs to give consent. So the parent will obviously give consent.
Under
okay?
18.
Of course. So my video, and it's not doing well for obvious reasons. I know it's a very good video, but I know it won't do well because they don't want to. So the opening line of my video is South African law, are they trying to legalize pedophilia in South Africa under the guise of culture? Because now, what 14-year-old can make a life-altering decision that allows them to fully understand and comprehend, I'm literally, as a child, not being sold. I don't want to say being sold because, it's a touchy subject and there's Lobola and all the cultures, I don't understand it. It's their belief. I have to respect it. But it's a child being given over, whether it's their consent, because culturally they think it's right. I was brought up like this. My parents taught me, so I think I believe it's right. I don't know. So you get given to this man that's maybe 40, 45 years old, who's got attraction to a minor. That is pedophilia, no matter how you define it. So I made this video, and I wanted to know what is your thoughts on it. Do you think that it is them trying to legalize it in a cultural way? Because now it's going to be put into our law. So if they come to you, Xavier, and they say you need to marry us, and this is a child, because they're making those provisions for children to marry adults.
Okay. I'm going to answer that question by asking you this, right? And I'm going to start and come there now. What's the best way of making a lie a truth? You have to consistently perpetuate the lie.
Yes.
Right? So if I
see it all the time, I start to believe it.
You start to believe it, right? So they've been consistently perpetuating the LGBT movement. Yeah? There's some people who did. 99% of people thought this was crap. Just 10 years ago. Just 10 years ago. Not long ago. Not in the 1920s. Just 10 years ago. 99% of population knew. The Bible says this is wrong.
That's why they were in the closet.
Religiously, this is wrong. This is why people were scared to say they gay or they whatever else, because they knew that culturally this wasn't accepted. Okay? The devil understands this, right? I'm going to come full cycle with us, right? So what the devil does is he hates anything that looks like God. Of course. Right? So his aim is to kill anything that God creates, right? So the reason he perpetuates the LGBT thing is because it can't procreate, right? Two men can't get a child, two women can't get a child. If you are going to cut off your penis because no, it's what do you call it? You have to. It's gender affirming care. Okay, so now you take a 3-year-old to go cut off his tolly because he said, "Oh, I like pink." Oh yeah, he's a girl. Look, I told you he's a girl. This is the videos that are going on TikTok. Yeah. This is the videos that are going on Instagram, on YouTube. There are literally people saying that my boy likes pink. I'm gonna go cut off his penis. Right? My girl likes soccer, so I'm going to go and give a hormone. Testosterone and blocking hormones as a woman, and that so she doesn't grow breasts and whatever the case might be. So, and they know that it's irreversible. And there's a lot of the people that are now coming out, what they call people who are now detransitioning, are coming out saying, guys, this is not what they're making it out to be. They are lying to you. This thing is not reversible. I'm now sitting with this problem and this problem and this and that. I'm sitting with depression. People are committing suicide. There's a bunch going on. The suicide rates are going through the roof because people are saying, hey, I wasn't told this is gender affirming and what. Now I'm in this world and I'm realizing, oh snap, it's not answering the original depression issue I had in the beginning. This is not the answer. And detransitioners are coming out saying that, guys, this isn't the answer. I suggest you go through your puberty, you go through everything, and when you are at the age of understanding this thing, maybe then make a decision and see if it's worth it or not.
But that's why they're targeting the children.
Exactly. That's which is coming back full to my point. Now the devil understands the only way to get this thing is if I hit you here, where it's irreversible. Now I got you. This is why pedophilia is such a thing, because if a child is molested or raped or something happens, sexually traumatized at the age of 4, 5, 6, the chances of that child growing up having that trauma for the rest of their life is 99% of the time. And if the American standards of what this thing that they call it the BSM book or something, the thing that shows what constitutes as a mental illness, what constitutes as an illness. That book was showing all the time that homosexuality was always, it was showing that homosexuality was always something that derived from somebody facing sexual trauma at a young age, right? They had all that information from an early stage, so a lot of people could understand that this is because this person faced some sort of trauma. So now the devil has to take that and say, oh snap, if the people know that, they're going to say the reason this person is like this because of trauma. Right? So now I got to change that. I got to perpetuate a new lie so that people start believing this lie. So now it's Pride Month, it's rainbow flags there, it's this, it's that.
And Pride
it's
is a sin. And so, now they're celebrating it for a whole month.
Exactly. So the devil throws that. People say, whoa, we disagree. Whoa. So now the devil's like, how do I shut these people up? So if you lift your hand and say, but guys, listen, I don't agree with this, I don't agree. Okay, demonetize that person.
Not even just that. Because now this movement is growing so big, there's activists, there's radical people that will literally come and attack. That's where the cancel culture comes. So imagine 100,000 people all coming to attack you because you've got an opinion or you don't believe what they believe.
Now here's the problem. Now I say, hold on, guys. The Bible says I'm not allowed to do this. Okay, deplatform this guy. Okay, shadow ban this guy. Okay, take down his channel. Okay, take down this. So now, based on what? Why are you taking? No, you're bullying the community. Hold on. Are you not bullying me? Because what's the community standing for? The community is standing for allow me my freedom to be me. Allow me to choose who I want to love. Allow me. Love is love. Let me love who I want to love. Why are you being so intolerant about my love? And why are you being so intolerant about who I care about and who I... Fine, sharp. We tolerate it. Okay, guys, go love who you want to love. Go marry who you want to marry. Go and do whatever you want to do. It's cool. Yeah, but that's not enough. We don't want you just to give us our autonomy. We want to impede on your autonomy.
And your children.
And your children and everything you stand for so that you are forced now to agree with us. So now it comes full cycle. So now the devil sees, this cancel culture thing is not working. People are still pushing back. People are still saying, whoa, we don't agree. Andrew Tate is still the most famous man in the world, even though I took away his platform. I deplatformed him. I took away his Rumble. His YouTube, his this, is that, all his platforms. And now he's still popular. And hold on, he's still gaining a following. Oh snap, this cancel thing is not working.
Can I just jump in there? So Andrew Tate has come out and said he's a Muslim. So Candace Owens obviously said she's really sad that he is, and he said it's because when he went to a Muslim country, he felt God. A lot of people are like, no, you didn't feel God. You felt the fear that if you speak against their God, they will come after you because they will defend their God. And Christians have just become complacent and super chilled, and we're like, okay, I don't want to say anything. We must inclusivity because a lot of people are scared to be bold. And we need to be bold, especially in a time like this, even if you're going to get cancelled. Like, I still speak about Christ on my platform. Even if I get 20 views, somebody needed to watch that, and God will lead me indirectly. And I will pray before I make it. Let me know if I must release this video. And I make videos 5, 6, 7 times. If God tells me this is the one, this is the one.
And go for it again.
But people lack the boldness. So when you say Andrew Tate, he wasn't deplatformed per se, only by like the devil, but it's the forces that be because he's revealing certain things that... And
people are seeing.
People are listening.
This thing is true. So now the devil sees that, people are not scared of being cancelled anymore. Where can I hit them now? Okay, now we're going to hit them in the constitutions. If you say this against
put it in law.
You are going to be... Now people are like, that means I'm going to get locked up now
and my family.
This and that and that. Hey, my family does. Hey, let me rather just keep quiet. So now people start.
They're
"Hey,
shutting
bruh,
people
I'm
up
not gonna want to."
with fear.
So now the question is, who are the actual bullies in this whole situation? Because I've never seen a Christian make a constitution against the LGBT community. I've never seen a Christian come up and say, if you are standing for this, you are going to get locked up. I've seen the opposite. I've seen that community be celebrated. I've seen that community get a month. I've seen that community get all the accolades they get. And I've also seen people from that community, when they detransition, say that's all a lie.
Of course.
So now who's lying and who's telling the truth here?
Well, we obviously, from our point of view, we know exactly where it's coming from. But most people, they're not there. They don't even go to church. That's why I started the series that I started on social media, because so many people are not in church anymore. They can't learn these things. They can't see the truth behind it because they don't understand the devil. He roams around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And he comes as a sheep in wolf's clothing, and people don't see that, they don't realize it. And that goes with the first topic we spoke about, Sound of Freedom. People will come with this intention, they look perfect, they're the right fit in every aspect of it, but then they're actually a wolf.
So if they legalize pedophilia, then a movie like Sound of Freedom is actually going to become a criminal offense.
Think about it, because now you can just say, no, I've got an attraction to this person, drug that child, force that child, because a lot of times they put fear in children.
Yeah, and
you
then
saw
you
in
covered,
the movie,
yeah, and then
that
you
child
covered,
is scared, this is their new name, they've been told to say that, and if you don't, I'm going to hurt your sister. So they threaten children, even like with...
the earphones is making feedback on the mic.
Oh, sorry. Even with, like the movie, you saw it, they forced the little boy by saying, if you don't, then I'm going to hurt. And that's what they do with any kind of thing.
And
even
a small child in their small
they're
state,
scared, they don't
not
understand. And that's what happens even with people. Most molestations, rapes, all of these things that happen, it's from people they know.
Exactly.
If you tell your mother, then you're going to get in trouble. So it's fear. Everything that we're seeing,
small child's 8-year-old brain is thinking, ay.
That's hectic for them. It's like hectic, I don't want to get shouted. So this marriage act, it's instilling fear. So pastors aren't going to fight back, but we need to fight back, and we need to have a boldness. You look at, even with Brics, we need to fight back against the government. What is this? You guys are signing contracts and stuff with
our lives that we're not even sure what we're signing for.
Now it affects our lives. They're saying a lot more Chinese influence is going to be in South Africa. They're sending so much things, so we have power, and they're sending it for free. But we're going to have to pay them back at some point.
No, but you know how China operates. Remember that country in somewhere in Africa where they built the airport and when they couldn't pay it back, they said, okay, shop now. When you don't want to pay it back, now we're going to come in with our laws and this and that. That's essentially the strategy of how China takes over.
And it goes straight back to Sound of Freedom. Everything that is happening right now in this world is fear-driven. Look at the new pandemic. I'm so sorry I wanted to mention this, but did you hear in America?
They want to
COVID's coming back.
Again, yeah.
Pandemic 2.0. It's coming back. So it's all about fear. And they're saying with this new world government, this new world order, everything is about fear. Same with the aliens. If we can have one common enemy as a human race, we will come together, we'll band together, and we all fight. So then they will come up with the solution like they did with the VAC. They have the solution to the problem that they created. People go into it, but it was all just a test to see how many people will comply.
Hey guys, listen, we went over our time. We went 15 minutes. We covered our 15 minutes. But look, these are topics we can carry on and on because it's
hot.
And we both get passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I told Nicole the other day, I get passionate about conversations. It's not because I'm getting because I want to fight. It's really just because I'm expressing my passion, right? So it's fine. So, like what that guy said, excuse my passion. That's my passion talking. Jay-Z covered.
I can't deal with Jay-Z. I can't listen to even one song.
Now, he made a statement that, what's that one guy's name? You guys probably know who I'm speaking about. They said, that's my passion talking. Anyway, so yeah, that's my passion talking. And Nicole, thank you, man. I think... The reason I think the conversation just carries on flowing is because we have similar thought processes. There's some things we completely disagree about, but that's fine. We can. The nice thing about, and here's the thing, we had that conversation. We said, look, let's get someone from that community to come and let's have a conversation, right? And I said, I'm fine with having a conversation. But I don't like disrespect, and I don't like now storming out and this and that, which probably will happen at some point. But I'm saying, like what happens to Piers Morgan and all these guys, people storm out of the studio and it becomes hectic. But I'm saying we can disagree. There's elements we disagree on. that you think something and I think, it's not like that. But still, at the end of the day, we can walk out here.
I think it's a maturity level. You need to remember that a lot of these people, they're not mature enough, and it's not that they disagree with you so much. It's here inside. There's a pulling. There's a back and forth. It's like right and wrong, good and evil. They always at battle. So when you coming with the light and you try and expose the darkness, it's like that demonic influences that are inside, they are fighting you.
They resist it, yeah.
So and you can feel it when somebody comes into your presence, you can feel it, and they can feel it too. And it's not even that they in their right mind can feel it. They just like, oh, something different. It's the spirits inside of them. And that's something that a lot of people genuinely don't understand. And I think that's why we can agree to disagree, but still come together to know our common goal at the end of everything.
The big things we agree on is
the main things.
The main things.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people need that education around it. And yeah, I think we've got some fire topics coming in the future. I just want to make mention on the record. They need to make a new intro with me on. Thank you very much. That's me. And I thank you, and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please thank you for also subscribing and doing all that kind of stuff. If you are watching this after it's gone live, do continue to drop in the comment section your thoughts. If you agree, if you disagree, it's entirely up to you. Each one is entitled to their opinion. See you on the next one. Love you. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins, and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.